Okay, there are a few more things that you may need to describe in the soil pit. These are all features that will come into play when you're looking at the field indicators. In this case here, we have none of these features, but I'm just going to discuss them so that you know when you have them that you need to describe them. The first thing is percent mass sand grains. If you have a sandy soil and that sandy soil has some organic matter in it, the organic matter will coat the sand grains or mask the sand grains. If that is occurring in your sandy soil, then you need to indicate the percent mass sand grains. This usually occurs in the A horizons and the horizons that are at the surface that are dark in color. And it will create a sort of salt and pepper look where you can see some uncoated sand grains that don't have the black organic matter on it, and then blacker sand grains that are masked with the organic matter. And you just need to record the percent that are unmasked versus the percent that are masked. Also, organic features present. This also often occurs in sandy soils on the tips of your roots. If you have little balls of organic matter that are just forming on the tips of the roots, that's called organic bodies. And that is an indicator of a hydric soil. So if that occurs, you need to indicate that you have organic bodies and which horizon that occurs in. Also, if you have streaking or infilling of organic matter in the soil, you want to indicate that as well. And in some cases, you could have splotches of color that are not redoxomorphic features. They might be a weathered red fragment in a soil that is predominantly gray. In that case, we just call them mottles in the soil. It's a mottled color. If you end up with a splotchy color pattern that looks like it is just weathered rock fragments and not a redoxomorphic feature, you just want to fill in the bubble in the mottles present column on your data sheet, or fill it in on your app. There's a column on the data sheet that says abrupt lower boundary present. When you have an abrupt boundary, that's often an indication of some disturbance, like at the base of a plowed horizon, it'll be very abrupt where it'll be a dark color and then it'll change into a very different color. If you have a boundary that is fairly flat and abrupt, you just want to fill out the bubble that says abrupt lower boundary, just so that we have some information that may clue us into the fact that the area has been disturbed. One of the things that we would like you to do, if your soils are saturated or inundated when you are excavating the soils, as you're excavating the soil, we want you to take some initial color readings of the zones that are saturated. You just need to do the matrix color. In this case, the soil matrix was gray, but that phenomenon is not happening in the soil, so I can't demonstrate it here. If the soil has reduced iron in solution, when it's saturated, it will change color upon exposure to air. So when you're finished doing all your describing, take that initial clod that you colored and color it again and see if it changed color. And if it did, you want to record that in the initial readings block on your data sheet.